The wise man does at once what the fool does finally. Niccolò Machiavelli.
There comes a moment in a man's life when silence becomes deafening, not because there is nothing left to say, but because he finally realizes that no one ever warned him. Not his father, not his friends, not the world. They all smiled, patted his back, and watched him walk straight into the arms of a woman who would slowly dismantle everything he was trying to build. Not out of malice, not even out of intent, but simply because he chose wrong. And history does not pity the man who chooses the wrong woman. Niccolò Machiavelli knew this. He understood the hidden war beneath romance, the invisible chessboard where most men play checkers. The truth is brutal behind every destroyed man. There's often not bad luck or misfortune, but a woman he let too close. This is not a video about hate. This is not a sermon. This is a mirror. A mirror held up to every man who thought loyalty, effort, and love would be enough to secure peace. But Machiavelli never promised peace. He promised power to those willing to see through illusions. So if you're brave enough, if you're tired of bleeding silently, if you're done mistaking appearances for truth, then sit down and listen, because the world will never say this to your face. She was perfect, wasn't she? Until she wasn't. Until the softness turned to sarcasm. Until the admiration turned to comparison. Until the love you believed in became leverage. You looked at her and thought she was the prize. But Machiavelli warned us appearances are crafted, intentions are concealed, and love, when untested, is often nothing more than performance. The first mistake most men make is choosing beauty over virtue. You meet her and your mind shuts off. Your logic bows, her face, her voice, her body, a symphony your instincts cannot ignore. But beneath that beauty, you never paused to see her patterns. You never asked who she was when no one was watching. You never wondered how she treated those who couldn't offer her anything, because beauty makes you blind, and blindness makes you breakable. Machiavelli didn't trust what could be seen. He trusted behavior, because the eyes lie, but repetition doesn't. So here's your first law. Do not choose a woman until you've seen how she reacts to your boundaries. Tell her no. Watch her. Deny her something and observe if her affection is tied to access. If she manipulates, sulks, or threatens to leave. Congratulations, you've just avoided a silent war. But if you ignore that red flag, then you have declared surrender before the first battle. Because a woman who doesn't respect your limits will never protect your legacy, and a man without limits will always be disposable. There's something seductive about chaos when it wears lipstick. Something addictive about drama when it calls itself passion. But Machiavelli wasn't interested in chemistry, he was obsessed with results. The second law, do not choose a woman who cannot sit in silence. You want a partner, not a storm. Observe her when there's nothing to do, no attention being fed, no drama to ignite. Does she create peace or does she create noise? A high-value woman does not require external stimulation to validate her identity. She thrives in the quiet. She respects your solitude. She multiplies your discipline. But the wrong woman. She fears silence, because silence exposes her boredom, and boredom exposes the hollowness she hides behind selfies, shopping, and social distractions. When a woman panics in the absence of attention, she will destroy everything you build just to feel alive. So test her. Watch her in the mundane. In the pause between excitement, in the gaps of conversation. Does she elevate the moment, or does she demand you fill it? Machiavelli understood that character is not revealed in conflict. It's revealed in calm. And if her peace depends on your performance, you are not with a partner. You are with a parasite. Let's talk about the past. They told you it doesn't matter, that her history is hers alone, that you should be mature enough not to ask. That is a lie. The third law. A woman's past is a window to your future. You are not insecure for wanting to know. You are strategic. You are not judgmental for analyzing her patterns. You are wise, because history does not lie. Patterns don't vanish, and those who ignore history are always the first to repeat it. If she speaks with contempt about every man before you, what do you think she'll say about you when you're gone? If loyalty was negotiable then, what makes you think it suddenly became sacred now? Don't marry potential. Marry evidence. Marry reality. A woman who has betrayed before has rehearsed it. And your belief in her new self is often the stage where her old habits perform again. Machiavelli knew that trust is not granted. It is earned, tested, verified, and any man who gambles his future on a woman's self-reported change is not a lover. He is a volunteer victim. Now, let's look at mission. The man who has no mission is already lost. But the man with a mission must be even more careful, because not every woman will admire your discipline. The fourth law: never choose a woman who mocks your purpose. She laughs when you say no to distractions. She rolls her eyes when you wake up early. She subtly sabotages your momentum because she doesn't feel prioritized, and you think love is compromise. That bending will bring peace. But every time you soften your edge for her approval, she respects you less. Not because she's evil, but because instinctively she knows she cannot follow a man who follows her. Purpose is polarizing. Some women will rise to match it. Others will resent what they cannot control. Machiavelli wrote, "He who seeks to deceive will always find someone willing to be deceived." In modern love, the deception is this: that a woman can despise your path and still support your soul. She can't, because what you stand for is who you are, and if she mocks it, she mocks you. Choose the woman who protects your fire, who doesn't dim your focus but adds fuel to it, or prepare to watch your ambition rot in the name of domestic peace. Now comes the hardest truth. The fifth law. If she does not fear losing you, she will never value you. It sounds cruel. But Machiavelli knew that human beings, especially in power dynamics, only value what can be lost. A woman who believes you'll always be there no matter how she behaves slowly begins to treat your presence like background noise. She stops rising. She stops nurturing. She stops being who she was when she felt you were a prize. Because what costs nothing is worth nothing. You see, the man who fears loss becomes her servant, but the man who accepts loss becomes her standard. You don't earn her devotion by staying. You earn it by being willing to go, not to punish her, but to protect yourself. When she knows that your love is powerful but not unconditional, loyal but not blind, deep but not desperate, you shift the dynamic. You remind her that your time, your energy, your presence is a gift, not a guarantee. Machiavelli didn't teach cruelty, he taught leverage. And in love, leverage is not manipulation, it's clarity. So now the question becomes simple. Are you a man who chooses like a king, or do you still choose like a beggar? Because at the end of the day, you don't just pick a woman. You pick your future, your peace, your empire, your mind. And the cost of choosing wrong is not measured in arguments or breakups. It's measured in decades lost, in legacies abandoned, in men who died slowly, quietly, spiritually, long before their time. Machiavelli understood something most modern men have forgotten. Love is not blind. Love, when truly powerful, sees everything. It sees the danger, it sees the patterns, it sees the risk, and it still chooses. But it chooses with strategy, not sentiment. It chooses from strength, not scarcity. So choose like a man who knows his worth. Choose like a man who is no longer available to chaos, disrespect, manipulation, or emotional dependency. Choose like a man who understands that your life is not a playground for someone else's instability. It is a kingdom, and only a queen should enter it. If this message stirred something in you, if you felt seen, challenged, maybe even uncomfortable, good. That means you're waking up. Now do something with it. Like the video. Subscribe to the channel and watch the next one we've prepared for you, because you're not here to be a casualty. You're here to become untouchable.